My name is Tinder Kaur and this lesson is for class 11th English NCRT Hornbill. The objective is to familiarize you all with some information about the poet and the summary of the poem The Tale of Melon City by Vikram Seth. Let's begin with the introduction of the poet. Vikram Seth was born on 20th June 1952. He is an Indian novelist and poet. He has written several novels and poetry books. He has received several awards such as Padam Shri, W.H. Smith Literacy Award, and Crossword Book Award. Now let's talk about the poem. The Tale of Melon City is a humorous even though it is unrealistic and unbelievable. It ridicules the king, his ministers, the wise men, and the common people. All of them behave foolishly. Not one of them applies his brain. Summary of the poem. Once upon a time, there was a city named the Melon City. There lived a justice loving and cool headed king. He proclaimed an arch to be built over the main highway. The arch was built too low. The king's crown was knocked down when he passed from below it. The king became angry and wanted to punish the chief builder by hanging them. The gallows was set up. As the builder was brought for hanging, he fell on his knees, pleading for mercy. He said it was the workmen's fault that the arch had been built low. The king pardoned the builder and ordered the workmen to be hanged. When the workmen were to be hanged, they pleaded to the king that it was not their fault. They had been supplied the wrong size bricks. The masons were called, who passed the buck on to architect. Thus everyone passed the blame to someone else. In this manner, architect was called to be hanged. With folded hands, he reminded the king that the king himself had made amendments in the plan he had shown him. Now the king became very confused. He said he needed some counsel on this very tricky matter as to whom must be hanged. So he ordered the wisest man of his kingdom to be brought to him. In that kingdom, wisest was he who was the oldest in age. So a man who was on deathbed was brought. He advised the king that it was the arch that was the culprit and it must be hanged. So a huge gallows was set up for hanging of the arch. Now a counselor said the arch could not be hanged as it has become pure by touching the head of the king. By this time the crowd had become impatient and restless for a hanging. Fearing their subversion, the king ordered immediate hanging of anyone to pacify the crowd. So all who were present were tried to fit in the high set nose. Only the king fitted perfectly, and according to his order, he was hanged. Now this city had a custom of electing a new king. Anyone passing through the street the next day would elect the king. So when the guards next morning asked the passer by who must the king be of the city, he replied, Melon. This passer by was an idiot, whose answer to all the questions put to him was melon. So a melon was crowned as the king. Henceforth, the city came to be known as Melon City. This is the story the city people tell to those who ask them the reason behind the name of